Alrighty folks, so here's a little update. Here we are. And let me hit, I got the 4-speed out. And that's Saginaw 4-speed right there. Got it out. And just kind of manhandled it and rustled it out there. But nah, I'm just kidding, it really wasn't that bad. Wasn't bad at all. But I did pull it out by hand. But that's why you put the slip yoke in there, is it helps hold all the gear oil and everything in so you don't make a big mess. That little drip there, but I'd rather deal with a little drip like that than deal with some huge mess. But we got a few issues, not really with, it's nothing wrong with the transmission, but this transmission mount I had installed when I put this back in 2016. That's one of them polyurethane transmission mounts. And the height of it is definitely way too tall, and it was causing a lot of issues. It was causing the slip yoke, not this particular one, but well, it's the same slip yoke, but not this one, if that makes sense. That's a 1310. But the ear of it, like right in this general area here, was rubbing the floor pan, and that's not good. It wasn't good at all, because that transmission mount right there is way too tall. And that'll be corrected later on when this 4-speed and everything goes back in it. But I gotta correct that. Still got the bell housing and everything in it. Just kind of wrestled it out like that. Put a jack up underneath the bell housing there. And not the best way to do it, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I mean, it's got a new flywheel and pressure plate and throw out bearing, got a new fork. I mean, everything don't look like it's new, but it was back in 2016. But we had some issues with that dry shaft. It was rubbing. Where's it at? Yeah, right in here. There we go. It was rubbing right in here, which was not cool. So I ended up notching this out and folding it back a little bit so it wouldn't rub. But the whole problem in the whole beginning there was the fact that we had the wrong transmission mount. So it was raising it up way too high and causing issues and making it rub right there. And that's not cool. And then we had another issue right here at the bottom of this floor pan here, where this just needs to be notched out just a little bit. And I apologize for the camera quality here. It just needs to be trimmed out just a little bit more so that shifter would come out. I come in here and I fold that back just a little bit. But because you couldn't quite get the shifter unbolted. It was one bolt you couldn't get out. Because one time you thread it out, it would hit the floor pan. So I notched that out. Well, not really notched it, but I fold it back so I get that bolt out. So this got to be trimmed just a shade. So that'll be straightened out. And then I got to fix all this mess. I'm going to weld all this up right in here. And we'll just have a nice square trimmed out there. But yeah, there's our 283. And the power pack key is right there. You can see them a little bit. But we got it out, and so now the fun task is going to be getting this motor out. I'm surprised at 4-speed. I thought that was going to be kind of a little pain, but it wasn't too bad. Actually wasn't. I had it out in about 5 minutes, so not too bad. But got the cross member laying right there. And we got some issues with that too. And I had to move this mount over. It was originally welded right here in center, like right in the center there. So I don't know what was going on with that. I got the correct original transmission cross member that we're going to put back on here to correct that, because that was welded by me. And of course got dirt and everything else all over it. But let's take some of that dirt off. But yeah, it's kind of an ugly weld there. But I had to move that mount over, because they had it, somebody moved it over at one time or another. They moved it over here. It was like this side of it was sitting about right in here where my finger is. And I don't know why in the world they moved it over. So I moved it back, got it back in the center there. And so I don't know what's going on with that. So I got a nice original, and that should take care of that issue. I don't like welding the transmission mount, because to me that's a structural thing. And you don't want to be playing around with that, because if that mount was to ever break, you know, you're going to have major issues on your hands. It'll make that tail shaft that make the transmission and everything else, it'll go, you know, bam, on top of that transmission mount, and then that can, you know, mess a lot of things up, dry shaft and all that good stuff. So we're gonna, I think a lot of our issues, that transmission mount, we're gonna swap that out, and I'm gonna put my good original cross member in. I do have one, and like I said, this car is going to get the TBI 350, and eventually. But now that I got this 4-speed out, I'm gonna try and work on this 283 here soon, get it out, and that's gonna be a little bit of a task. I ain't got a lot of room to work with, but now that makes it a little easier getting that transmission out, because now I ain't gotta, you know, pull it up all the way out and high enough to get it at an angle and all that mess. So hopefully I can just kind of lift it straight on up, and just, if I got to, I'll take this fender and that radiator support off. It's only a few bolts holding that on, and I'll just lift it up, and I'll keep messing with it, and try to work it and play with it and get it out of the car, because I want to get that out, and then we can hopefully take it. Maybe later on I'll see if I can get some better tires there. I really need a set of wheels. That's what I want, because these front wheels I'm not going to run anyway, but these back ones I am. And I want to find another set of 14x6s that are deep like that. You know, these are pretty deep, but I like to find another set of them and get some decent tires to put on this thing. Just something to roll it and that actually holds air, so I can take this car and I don't know how in the world I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure out something. But once I get the motor and everything out of it, that way I can at least roll it, and it's gonna be tight, that's for sure. But try and play with it here, and somehow, I don't know, I need to get the tail end of the car over that way, and I'm probably going to cut that tree down right there so I can get this car out of here, because that's the whole point of getting out of here. And I wish I could drive it. I would have drove it, but you know, the way I look at it, it's just no point. So I want to get the motor and everything out of it. I'll just roll it. I got a tow strap, so we'll get it out one way or another. I thought about getting like, what I really need is like some kind of slider. If I can make sliders and jack this car up, just keep the front end where it's at and jack the back of it up, and maybe roll this car up about 2-3 feet, because we got probably about 5 foot here to play with, at least from this side right here. If we could roll it up enough, if I had some kind of sliders where I could put that them back tires on, and just take and just slowly work it over and slide this tail end of this car over, and I'll have to cut the tree down, unfortunately. Just keep doing that where I can get the tail end of the car right here, then I can move that truck out of the way and just roll it right on out. But unfortunately I ain't got enough room, because I really need to turn the car completely around so I can take and get this car out of here. But this truck's got to be moved too. I got to wrap up the frame on this. I need to get some POR 15 and finish wire wheel on the frame. I know it's not the best way to do it, but I want to get all up inside this frame, get all that knocked out, so I can get this bed back on this truck here, and go ahead and run my brake lines and everything while it's easy to get to, and get this thing out of here, because I want to get this truck out of here so that I can get my Chevelle out of here and get it parked out of the way. That's what I want to do. So it's going to take some time, but anyway, all this could have been avoided. I could have just drove it out, but I mean, either way I would have had to cut that tree down. But the whole thing is when I had that shed and that building delivered there, you would think people would have common sense and to wait, you know, until I got here, and you know, be like, hey, hold on a bit, let me back the car out. But no, they delivered it and put it right there, right in front of my car. It's like, you know, how am I going to get it out? But I don't know. But we'll get it out. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut that tree, which that's a shame. I really don't like cutting trees, but I'm going to have to. And I can't just move that building over, because I mean, I thought about sliding over out of the way, but I don't feel like emptying it out. So we'll get this car out here one way or another. If I got to, well, it ain't really matter anyway. I'll pull this whole front clip back off so I get more clearance, And I'll probably end up having to take this car and put it almost against this building here to get it out. I got to be careful cutting trees too. I don't know how I'm going to get it out, because if I cut that tree the way that thing's leaning, I don't want it to fall on my car. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But anyway, that's where we're at. So I'm going to take in, get this 4-speed, put it away. And hopefully another day or two, I'll come back, get this motor out of this car. And hopefully don't have to fight with it too much. I want to get this 283 out of here and get it put away. And or make a final decision if I'm gonna put in that C10. And I really want to, and because I would throw that 4-speed over on my truck just for fun for now, but it ain't got the boss on the side of the block for the clutch linkage to bolt up, so that's unfortunate. I can't really see it, but it's below that dipstick right there. So it's right, well, the exhaust manifold's in the way, but it's got 2 bolt holes, 2 bosses. It's got one in here and one at the back of the block. And unfortunately, I can't use the one at the back of the block or the one in the bell housing, because nothing will line up in my truck. So I got to have that little adapter piece, which I do have. So it moves the pivot ball almost exactly right underneath that dipstick tube. So that's a little unfortunate there, but that 305 does not have that boss for it. Otherwise, I would throw that 4-speed in it. But I wish I had a little better working area here, because I would just say go on and pull that 283 and that 4-speed out and put it over in the truck and run it. But I don't know, I haven't quite made a final decision on that yet. Probably just going to end up putting it away and just go from there. But because I really don't want to put it in the truck and turn around and pull it back out later on, you know, a few months down the road or whatever, to put the 454 in, and then end up pulling that out too until I get the tall deck. So I don't want to have to do, you know, pulling 3 motors out, because 305, then if I put the 283 in there, that would be 2, and then if I put the 454 in there, that would be 3, and then end up pulling that out for the actual real motor that's going to go in that truck, was the 427 tall deck. But that'll be, the tall deck ain't gonna go in until I can find a good, you know, F-150 frame and all that good stuff, because that will be the new nickname, like I mentioned before, is the in quotations there, K150. And I think real serious about putting that on the back of the truck there, writing K150 on it. Maybe pinstripe it, that'd be kind of cool. But I know it look kind of crazy here, pulling motors in and out and all that, but I'm gonna make a final decision here. I'm thinking hard about it, because it would be nice to put a good motor in and a good 4-speed in. That way I know I got a good engine and a good transmission I know is right, and I know it's going to be reliable, and it's not going to, you know, have all them issues with, you know, running funny and all that stuff. This motor's going to have to be tuned up, obviously. I had to put a kit in the carburetor, which I do have one. And I had to put a kit in the carburetor, and I'll probably end up swapping that distributor, plugs, plug wires. Might be able to get away without plugs, because, I mean, this motor has really not that long a run time on it at all. The cam is broke in and probably going up and down the road maybe 5 or 10 times. That's about it. When I say going up and down the road, it's probably literally like 2 miles. That's it. So this motor probably altogether has maybe 20 miles on it, and that's it. But so I'm gonna make the final decision on that, if I'm gonna put it in the truck for now. I don't really know if I'm gonna do that or not, but then again, I don't want to be sitting on the side of the road with the 305 and a bunch of issues. But it would be nice to eliminate the transmission lines and the kickdown and all that stuff. And to me, I like a 4-speed. I do, because, you know, you feel like you got more control over the vehicle there. You know, you can kind of downshift it, don't wear out your brakes as fast, and you know, just kind of, I like that kind of firmness feeling of it. But same ratio as the Turbo 350 1-to-1. So, I mean, you don't need overdrive, honestly, from what I'm doing. It's kind of a waste of money, really. I just can't see spending money on a 700 R4 and all that stuff, because in my opinion, you really don't, well, in my case, you really don't need it, because it doesn't get driven every day. That's what it boils down to. I just can't see upgrading to an overdrive and it's just sitting around, you know. It's not really worth it. I just, honestly, like I've always said, I like the 1-to-1 ratio. I like the firmness of it. You know, it's hard to describe, but, and I think some people kind of overkill it, I guess you would say, and make you think like, oh, you're turning, wow, you know, wide open. It's, you know, 60, 70 mile an hour, and that's completely not true. My 78, I was turning 2,700 RPM with a 307 gear, 235, 75 R15 tires. And I started 2,700 RPM at 70 mile an hour. Which that's, I mean, that ain't nothing, really. Because if you think about it, overdrive's turning maybe 2,300. That's not that much difference. So it's not worth it. But I'm glad that's out. I'm gonna put that away for now, and because that's not a big deal. I can just pick it up, carry it. But the motor, I need to really make a decision on that, and it will be fun just for temporarily to put that 4-speed, have a little fun with it, and put this thing in service for once, you know. But now I will have to swap it out to a long water pump and brackets and all that. I have all that will bolt right up off that 305 right on here. But don't have to worry about the balancer and none of that stuff. So same size balancer and everything. I probably will switch that balancer out. I'll take the 305 one off because that's a new one. Same size balancer, and I'll probably put that one on here because this one's got a sleeve on it. And where it had a little groove wore in it. It's not leaking, I don't think. Of course, you know, it's got to be running a little bit, but I don't know, it might be seating a little bit. That's hard to tell. I had to really run it, but I might switch that balancer out. But that's what we got. So next thing, only thing left now is get this motor out and make a decision on it. And I'm gonna put it in the C10 for now, and I'll go from there. I would love just to, honestly, if I had it my way, I would just take this motor and just put it away and just put the 4-speed in that truck, just to have something. Because I know that turbo 350, it shifts fine. There's nothing really wrong with it, but you can just tell it's getting a little wore out. So it'd be nice to put something in there that I know there's nothing wrong with it, and I know it'll last a little while. But one thing I do need to change is this tail shaft seal. I never did change that, so I need to change that out. I don't know a whole lot about these 4-speeds. I love to tear it down, and I've had the side cover off, and I had the bearing retainer off of it before I put it in this car, and I did put a new front seal in it. And I don't mind all the grease. That's when I put it back in 2016, I took a little grease and I was putting on the splines and all that. That's probably, honestly, the splines ain't gonna hurt nothing. And I put a little bit where that pilot bearing goes. That's not gonna hurt nothing, but you know, I was putting it all over the place, and that, like I said, I know what I was doing. But it might have a little groove in it. I don't know if that's normal or not. No. Might have to get another bearing retainer. I'll have to get one of them. I believe they still make them. But, and it's no need for a Muncie or anything. This car, like I said, it'll always stay a 4-speed. But I think I'm gonna end up putting that 350 in here, that TBI motor. And that'll be the motor that really goes in this car. Of course, we'll be putting in the Biscayne and breaking it in and all that, not to confuse everybody. But it will actually end up eventually going in this car. And I don't really see a use for like a Muncie or anything like that. Just for cruising around, I don't think you got to worry about it. And these are very, very, well, they're cheaper, I'll say now. So that's what we got. So I'm going to put this away. And we'll probably go up underneath here, get this bell housing, flywheel, and all that stuff off. And I don't like a flywheel sitting out too long because I don't want it to flash rust, and then if it sits too long, then you gotta get it turned and all that good stuff. So I don't know. It's a brand new flywheel. I mean, everything: flywheel, the clutch kit, pressure plate, everything. But all right, I think we'll end this video here, and that's what we got. Hope y'all like the videos, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And there's Max. and we'll make a decision on this. I was thinking about doing a YouTube vote, and what I mean by that is voting for if I should put it in the C10 or if I just should put it in storage. So drop a comment below, and I'd say if I get enough likes or comments for the C10, we'll put it in there. I'll let y'all kind of help me with the decision on it. If I get enough likes and everything, we'll put it in the C10. But I haven't decided if it's going to either go in storage or if we'll put it in the C10. So drop a comment below, and get enough likes, we'll put it in the C10. Or if you want it to be in storage, drop a comment below. I think it should go in storage, or write something like that. Alright, y'all take care. Bye. Power pack.